Welcome to the Daily Decant, your 5-minute briefing on the world of wine. Each episode delivers practical insights to help you choose, order, and talk about wine with more confidence in everyday social settings. Let's get into today's decant. It's Thursday, and we are doing the Back to Basics week. And today's episode is the one I hear most often that people actually need, because the social anxiety around ordering wine at a restaurant is remarkably common and almost entirely unnecessary once you have a few frameworks in your head. Let's walk through the whole situation. The wine list arrives. Where do you start? Not at the beginning. The first thing you do is scan for the layout. Most restaurant wine lists are organized by country or region, then by color, then usually by price. The second thing you do is identify your budget. You do not need to tell the sommelier your exact budget, but having a clear sense of it in your own head will make everything faster. Third thing, look for the wines you recognize. Not necessarily to order them, but to orient yourself on the list. If you see a wine you recognize, and it's priced at, say, $70 and you know it retails for $30, you now have a sense of the restaurant's markup on known bottles. That tells you something useful about where the value is likely to be on the rest of the list. So value on restaurant wine lists tends to cluster in a few places. The house wine is often the worst value. It's usually the cheapest bottle available with the highest markup percentage. The second cheapest bottle on any list is frequently a better value than the cheapest one. Regional and lesser-known wines from areas the wine buyer personally championed and which don't carry the same brand recognition premium are almost always better value than famous names. And wine from countries that are currently undervalued in the market, which we've covered repeatedly on the show, tend to offer better restaurant value than the most recognized bottles. A few other value signals worth knowing. Bottles listed by the glass are usually marked up at the highest percentage on the menu, roughly the price of a whole bottle for about 4 glasses. Ordering a bottle almost always works out cheaper per glass than ordering by the glass if your group is drinking more than 1 or 2 glasses each. And on the subject of budget, you do not need to tell sommelier your exact budget, but pointing to a bottle on the list and saying something around this price is completely normal and immediately clarifying without requiring you to state a number out loud. So using a sommelier, and I want to reframe this completely because most people experience a sommelier as a source of pressure and judgment, and they're actually the most useful resource in the room. So here's the approach. Be honest and specific. Say something like, we're having the lamb and the fish, we'd like 1 bottle to work across both, and we're thinking around $60 to $80. And we prefer something with good acidity, not too much oak. That sentence contains everything a good sommelier needs to find you something excellent. You don't need to name grape varieties or regions, and you don't need to pretend you know more than you do. Specificity about occasion, food, budget, and general preference, together with genuine openness to the recommendation, is the most effective possible approach. Next, we'll talk tasting ritual. So when the bottle arrives, the sommelier will show it to you, uncork it, and pour a small amount into your glass. This is not a taste test to see if you like the wine. It's a quality check. You're looking for whether the wine is faulty. Smell it. Does it smell normal, like wine? Good, nod, and say lovely, thank you. Does it smell like wet cardboard or musty basement? That's cork taint, and you can politely say, I think this bottle might be corked. A good restaurant will replace it without hesitation. If you simply don't love the wine's style, but it's not actually faulty, that's on you to discover before ordering, not the restaurant's responsibility to replace. So when you're sending a bottle back, you only do this for faults. Corked wine, oxidized wine, which smells flat or like sherry when it shouldn't, wine that smells like vinegar. These are legitimate grounds for replacement. But not loving the wine or finding it too tannic or too acidic or not what you expected is not a fault and is not grounds for a free replacement. Though you can certainly ask to order something different and pay accordingly. Tipping on wine. Standard practice is to tip on the total bill including the wine at whatever your standard tipping percentage is. The sommelier spent significant time helping you navigate the wine list and made a recommendation that genuinely elevated your experience. A specific acknowledgement of that, even verbally, is appreciated. Tomorrow, we'll talk at the 6 grapes to unlock every wine list in the world. You won't want to miss it. That's today's Daily Decant. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends so you can continue building your wine knowledge in just a few minutes a day. See you tomorrow for the next decant.